in our studio today, we have the soul queen of New Orleans, Miss Irma Thomas. How you doing, Miss Irma?
I'm alive and well so far.
That sounds good to me. I've been following you. I've been listening to you. You are, I want to say, one of my personal mentors in music that you probably don't even know, because I just love the way that you've carried yourself throughout your career. You do good music. You make people feel good, especially at your live performances. What's your secret?
Well, I do unto others as I'd have them do unto me. I'm the one who, when you come to one of my performances, if I'm allowed to do so, whether I'm allowed to do it or not, I do it anyway. I allow my audiences to make requests, because I feel that when you spend whatever dollars you've spent to buy a ticket to come to that show, you want to hear at least one of your favorite songs.
That's right.
And the only way I know that is if you tell me. I can't read minds. So after I've done a couple of opening songs, I allow the audience to do their thing, and they shout out what they want to shout out to me. And if it's in my iPad cheat sheet book, I pull it up and sing it for them. If the band knows it good, if they don't, I'll tell them I'll do it a cappella, and the band fall in somewhere along the way, because they've been working with me for a long time. So they know that most of the songs I do, if you listen to the first verse and bridge, you can always fall in thereafter, and it works out for me, and the audience always leave happy.
It sounds like
At least they tell me they're happy anyway. They could be lying to me too.
I don't think they're going to lie to you. But, now that you mentioned acapella, I would love to hear. I know you have some songs prepared for us. Would you mind singing us a song?
I don't have anything prepared. I have some songs put up here that I'm going to do.
Oh, which one you want to do?
I haven't sung some of these songs since the last gig, but, I'm going to sing a couple. In fact, the one that I'm going to do for you now is one that Wolfman and I did together on record, but I'm going to do it a cappella by myself, completely a cappella.
Oh, I would love that.
Okay.
Okay, we ready.
I went to sleep smiling. When you left, I opened my eyes. I must have been dreaming. You took me by surprise. A man can change his ways. Can a woman change her mind? Even now, I still love you. Sometimes I wonder how, but I'm wishing you only the best. Yes, I guess we're even now. Passion, suspicions, we took them all too far. All the wrong decisions, heaven faded star by star. You say there's no use trying, turning stones that you can't find. Even now, I still love you. Sometimes I wonder how, but I'm wishing you only the best. Yes, I guess we're even now. I still love you, and sometimes I wonder how, but I'm wishing you only the best. Yes, I guess we're even now.
I was waiting for those ad-libs on the end. I said, is she going to do it?
Oh, no.
If you're just joining us.
Ad-libs don't sound too good a cappella.
If you are just joining us, we have in studio live the Soul Queen of New Orleans, Miss Irma Thomas. You can stream it live on our Facebook page, on our YouTube page, or our website. Miss Irma, I got to ask, how did that duet come to be with you and Walter singing Even Now?
I'm assuming it was his decision that wanted me to sing with him. Well, for years, Walter and I have been knowing each other a long time. Walter was my guitar player when I had a band called the Tornadoes.
Oh.
He was my lead guitar player, and he also sung as well. And there was another gentleman that played in the Tornadoes that's now with the Dirty Dozen band, Miss Roger Lewis, who plays baritone sax. Well, he's been around a long. Well, all of us was in the same band called the Tornadoes, and Walter was my guitar player.
Oh, wow. That's one of my favorite songs. You guys sound so beautiful on that together.
Well, when you understand the storyline and how old we are, you can understand that we know what the message is all about, and we hope that it comes across to others that they understand what the message is all about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I must say, your spirit is so youthful. You know, and you're still putting out new music. I love the last album, Love is the Foundation. What inspires you to keep making new music while you're singing some of the old favorites that we all love?
Well, I enjoy singing. It's a gift that was gifted to me, and I show my appreciation by sharing it and bringing joy to others, and that's what it's about. That's what it's for. So, as long as I can, I will, and I do when I can.
You sure do.
But it's a love. You have to love what you do to be in this business to begin with.
That's right.
And even though people think it's a glamorous business, it's not as glamorous as a lot of folks think it is. But because we love what we do, we don't worry about the bad side. Because we can always get through that.
Well said. Well said. I love it. So let's get a little personal, but not too personal.
Well, if I'm not going to answer, I'll tell you, baby. I'll let you know. I'm not answering that question.
All right. Good. I'm glad you're honest. So it's the holiday season. I know a lot of families have been estranged because, we just experienced about 3 years of a pandemic. Do you have any plans for the holidays?
Yeah. Being alive and eating plenty.
What you cooking? What's on your menu this year?
Gumbo.
All right.
And that's it.
That's it?
Mm-hmm.
So just bowls and bowls of gumbo.
Well, that's good enough.
No macaroni and cheese?
No, baby, I don't want to see macaroni and cheese.
You done with it?
No, I'm kind of over macaroni and cheese. Even though I have a great recipe in the book, I'm kind of over it. You when you've been eating 81 years and most of those 81 years somewhere on the menu has been macaroni and cheese, it's good every now and then.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What about your favorite dessert? What do you think
Food.
you're going to have?
Can't you tell?
You sitting. But the face is glowing.
Well, I tell everybody I'm not 81, I'm 18.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. So do you have any holiday performances coming up? Something at the cathedral this year?
Not this year. I'm not on the program for this year, but I do have a performance coming up that's great for the New Orleans young musicians who are trying to get into the business or want to learn the business. We're doing a fundraiser as we do every year for NOCA.
Yes.
And as I say, home for Christmas, that's home for me for Christmas because I feel very proud of what NOCA does for the musicians that attend their school. They teach them not just the music, but the business side of music,
yes,
which we had to learn the hard way.
Mm-hmm.
And so they get the opportunity to learn how to go about it, and a lot of successful ones have come out of NOCA.
That's right. That's right.
Big time.
Yeah. You're mentioning that you love what NOCA does to
Mm-hmm.
empower the musicians as they're learning their craft, but
Right.
also the business.
Yes.
And I know that you take time to speak with younger musicians.
yeah.
Why is that important to you as a veteran musician to speak to the youth?
Well, I try to give them the benefit of my experience. I can only tell them what I have experienced, and hopefully that they'll listen and use what of it that they can. It may not happen to them that way because times have changed since I've been in the business, and there are new things and new way to do things, but still some old adages will help them in some way if they listen, getting them to listen and pay attention.
That's right.
And ask questions when you don't know something. Ask a question. Don't say, well, I'm going to think about it. No, ask the question. And if that person can answer that question for you, what I do when I can't answer the question, I say, well, I'll ask someone who knows if you want to get back with me. But always ask questions.
That's good advice. That's
Yeah.
good advice. Do you have another song that you want to share?
I can.
We would love to hear that voice. I like it a cappella. Not everybody can sing a cappella, so I'm loving it. This is a special treat for us today.
Well, I hadn't pulled up anything because we were chatting, but it's a beautiful thing to be able to sing. Well, back in the day when you auditioned, there were no musicians there. You had to be able to sing a cappella.
That's right.
And that way they know if you had a voice or if you were faking it.
I've heard some people try to fake it over the tracks, and they like turn the track up.
They still have to do what they call, what is that?
Lip sync?
No, not lip sync. The other thing when they have to put them in the right key.
Oh, transpose the...
Auto-tune, yeah.
The auto-tune.
Yes, indeed.
There's no auto-tune on Miss Irma Thomas today. This is straight up soulful vocals. Okay, I'm ready.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. You can blame me, try to shame me, and still I'll care for you. You can run around, even put me down, still I'll be there for you. The world may think I'm foolish, they can't see you like I can. Oh, but anyone who knows what love is will understand. I feel so sorry for the one who pity me, 'cause they just don't know. They don't know what happiness or true love can be. Oh no, to ever let you go is more than I could ever stand. Oh, but anyone who knows what love is will understand. Ooh, they just don't know. No, they just don't know until they've been in love. Until they try love out one time. Oh, they just don't know how it is. There you go.
Miss Irma, soul queen of New Orleans, and smiling all through the song. I love it. This is a true masterclass in conversation with you. Thank you so much.
Well,
I'm having a good time. I hope you're having a good time.
I'm always having a good time.
That's
I got to find one that we gave it a new title.
You switched it up.
Well, it's one that I recorded back in 1961, and I have to kind of find it so I make sure I sing the correct lyrics because it's been a while.
Oh.
And you might recognize it, and you might not, but that's okay if you don't, because you're kind of young. You weren't even thought about when I did.
I wasn't a sparkle yet.
Well, you might have been a thought, yeah.
Do you have you seen this resurgence of people getting to know your music? Has this happened many times over your career?
No, I find that it's happening more in recent years. I would say in the last 10 years or 15 years or so, especially since Katrina. I think a lot of folk, after I was I wouldn't say victim because that's just another bad word of saying that Mother Nature decided to do what Mother Nature was going to do. Mm-hmm. But after that, a lot of my songs started showing up in movies and commercials and what have you. And one day I got in the mail, I got one of these fabulous checks. Mm-hmm. And that last song I did was because of it. I didn't realize that the song had been used in a series called Black Mirrors. And I kept wondering why everybody kept asking me to sing Anyone Who Knows What Love Is. And I said, why y'all keep asking me to sing that song? Haven't you heard? Are they using it in Black Mirrors? I said, well, what's Black Mirrors?
I just know I was watching TV one time and I heard it in a commercial for some cream cheese. And I said,
that wasn't the one for the cream cheese. So I'm looking for the cream cheese one
yes,
right now because look, Miss D got her hands on her hip back there. Let me find
Hollywood
so
is loving Miss Irma. Yes, yes. Resurgence, bring it back.
Well, they tend to want to bring something that's kind of right on what they're trying to say, but I'm trying to figure out how that got to be what it's got to do with eating cream cheese. You saw the commercial?
I saw several.
The man sitting in a bathtub eating crackers and cream cheese. And the lady stroking a rug and a cat looking at her like, what's wrong with you?
And it made me want some cream cheese, and I felt so proud.
And the other one was the lady floating. I'm trying to say, well, what that's got to do with cream cheese?
Yes.
Well, anyway, I can do it without. I'm not finding the lyric, but anyway, take a look at this heart. It's the one I'm gonna use to love you. Take a look at these arms. They're the arms I'm gonna use to hug you. Look at these lips. They're gonna kiss you, and I know they'll haunt you. And oh, take a look at this girl. I'm the girl that'll want you. Take a look at my feet. They're gonna walk up to your door. Take a look at this hand, take a look at this fist. It's gonna knock like never before. Look at these lips. They're gonna kiss you, and I know they'll haunt you. And whoa, take a look at this girl. I'm the girl that'll want you. And hey, take a look at that ring that you see lying there in the window. Take a look at this poor little empty spot on my third finger. If you want to see someone who's going to be happy as can be, take a look at me, take a look at me, take a look at me, take a look at this heart. It's the one I'm going to use to love you. Take a look at these arms, take a look at these arms. They're the arms I'm going to use to hug you. Look at these lips. They're going to kiss you, and I know they'll haunt you. And whoa, take a look at this girl. I'm the girl that'll want you. Take a look at this girl. I'm the girl that'll want you. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you get flashbacks to where you were when you first recorded these songs?
Yeah.
What were you thinking about with this one? This one felt like a good story on your face.
Well, I didn't write it. You have to know the person who wrote it, and he can come up with an idea on the spur of the moment. A lot of folk don't realize when I was doing It's Raining, we were in the studio, Cosmo's studio on Governor Nicholas Street, and we were in the middle of it. Now, I have to kind of preface this so you'll understand the magnitude of what had happened. We're in the studio, and this is a time when they didn't have where you could go back and check in parts that you mess up. You had to start all over from the beginning if you messed up.
Okay.
So he had as much faith in my ability to do what he wanted me to do. In the middle of It's Raining, he had not written a second verse. So in the middle of It's Raining, while he's still at the B3, he decided to give me the second verse and he pointed in mouth, sing this verse. And I sung it.
Oh, wow.
And we didn't have to do the whole song all over again.
Oh, wow. You were ready.
Well, we had rehearsed the other verse, and he hadn't made up his mind, I guess, how he wanted the second verse to be. But he trusted my ability as a performer and, in the studio, because I'd been there a couple of times before with him, and he trusted that I would be able to do it. Boy, would he have been disappointed if I'd have screwed up.
You did good. You did very good.
But, those were the days when you rehearsed things and you were prepared when you got in the studio, because there was no auto-tune. Mm-hmm. There was no playback and, punch in some parts and what have you. That wasn't available back then. So you had to really know what you were doing. And musicians back, and still a lot of them still can, but back then the musicians were seasoned musicians, and they would read a note on the line. If he got in between the line, they would know what note to play. That's how good they were.
Wow. I know everything has an evolution, so I'm sure music has evolved from where you started off in music. Oh, yeah. What is something, and the evolution is not necessarily a bad thing, but what is something that you would want younger musicians now to know about your history in music, something that we can continue to keep with us, not just leave, back in the 60s or the 70s, but what is something that all musicians should know or singers should know that you think is relevant today?
Well, the music itself is relevant, period. I've always told young musicians who came up to me and want to know what they should do and how they should do it, I always tell them to be themselves. Be honest with yourself. Don't lie to yourself. If you lie to yourself, then you have a problem. If it's something you really enjoy doing, go for it. And don't expect everybody to like what you do or like you for that matter. If you have fans, take time to be with your fans. Don't ever grow to be where you are above your fans, because they either make you or break you. Mm-hmm. And without them, you don't have a career.
That's right.
So I always give them that kind of advice, because that's what has brought me through the years. I mean, I haven't had a hit record and I don't know when. I was fortunate enough to get a Grammy for the album that we did right after the storm. But I've been in this business. Last time I counted, 63 years.
Wow, that's a long time.
Well, yeah,
big career.
And I've always maintained being Irma. I was doing things like making requests, taking requests from audience long before it became a thing. Now everybody does it, but and I was using cheat sheet lines long before everybody else was doing it. Because when you sing as many songs during the show, I don't do a lot of talking during my shows. Most of the time I say things that I find are absolutely necessary or need to say. I don't stand up there and talk for 20 minutes before I sing a song. That's what I call killing time. That's not what I'm paid to do. So all I do is take requests. I may make a comment about the request that's being asked for. I let them know if I remembered. If I don't, I'll sing what I know and we'll fake the rest of it. I mean, I'm honest with my audience. And I think honesty has gotten me a long way, because people are not stupid. They can see you struggling.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So
and I won't put lyrics on the floor. I put them where I can see them.
I'm keeping that in my notepad.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you've ever had the opportunity to do it, but oftentimes if you're following an act and the act had, instead of having the lyrics where they can see them, they have them taped all over the floor down, and then every now and then you see they dance over where I'm not going through all that. I'm going to put it up there where I can see it.
Mm-hmm. That's right. So tell me, do you get recognized when you're out a lot?
Sure.
And paint a scenario, like you might be at the Costco and you are online and somebody's
they want
like,
to talk to me, I stop and talk with them. That's what fans are for, sweetheart.
Yes.
They realize I'm human. I gotta eat. I gotta shop. And I don't, every now and then my girls will go, they'll call me and say, Mom, do you need anything? We at the store, do you need anything? And I take a picture of what it is I want, but most of the time I do my own shopping.
That's right.
Why not? I don't even have an entourage. Never have had an entourage.
You don't need one. I
what?
don't think.
What I need it for?
You're tough. You don't need one.
Well, it's not so much being tough. If you make yourself inaccessible to the people who keep you in the business, you have a problem. Now, when I don't feel up to being out there talking to people, I stay home. Because once I step outside my door or get out of my car on the parking lot or wherever it may be, and someone recognizes me and they want to say hello, and they may tell me about a story, something happened to them that I did a long time ago, and they ask me, do you remember? I said, do you want me to tell you a story or tell you the truth? And I'll say, I remember or I don't remember, because I don't remember everything that happened. A lot of things, people will come up and tell me their entire life story. And I just stand there and listen to them. They want to be heard. So why not give them a couple of minutes?
That's right. You're such a good woman.
And my fans grew up with me. So, a lot of my fans, I taught them the new dances that was popular at the time, because I used to dance a lot and I didn't have a weight problem then. But anyway, I'm always going to be accessible to my fans, because they are the ones who keep my career going.
Do you still like to tour nationally, internationally? What's your schedule like these days?
Slim and none. Well, I'm 81 years old. I don't want to be out there on that road getting on and off buses and in and out of hotels. There come a time in your life you need to slow down and relax and enjoy life. I have been blessed to have had a good life in this business, even though it took a while to get started. I've also been blessed to have a man who has my back, and that's my husband and manager, Emil Jackson. It didn't start out that way, so it took a while for that to get started. And this time in our lives, it's time for us to enjoy each other and the family. So I take jobs every now and then just because I want to get out the house and do something. But as far as tours are concerned, no, I'll take a run from maybe here to New York and back, something overnight or over the weekend. But I'm not taking tours. And as far as going to Europe and that sort of thing, I don't have any ambitions to go to Europe. For what? I've been there, did that. And I mean, the fans over there are wonderful, but I just don't see my body being able to withstand that kind of stress. It used to be fun to travel when you get to the airport. Now it's a pain in the to go to the airport. So, a couple of times my husband and I say, we may as well get naked instead of going because they're going to search you. So what's the point? They need to have robes for you to take a robe and, because it's no fun to travel anymore.
That's the truth.
That took all the fun out of it. I'm glad it happened when I was young and I could take all of that. But now my patience is not as strong as it used to be.
Somebody gonna get fussed out at the airport.
Well, no, I don't fuss. I maintain my cool, but it's just because they're only doing their job. It's just the things that they have to do now that makes it not fun anymore.
That's right.
Because I'm not going to argue with someone who's actually doing their job. Now, some of them get a little overzealous sometimes, and I kind of give them that look, and they know, okay, you're going a bit too far. But I don't argue with them because they're only doing their job.
What role does gospel music and gospel singing play in your life?
It is my life. I sing every Sunday at church.
All right.
When I'm not there, I'm either in Gonzales somewhere at the other property we had to buy after Katrina. But I'm in my church choir. I'm in the alto section.
Yes. Has faith
been a big part of my life? It is part of my life. I
Yes.
grew up in the church and I sing in the choir. I participate in whatever I can participate in. And as you may be aware, Quint Davis decided after Katrina that I would have a gospel set at Jazz Fest. And I'm already lined up for that again for this coming year. And I love it. If I had a choice to go all the way gospel, I would. But I got kind of sidetracked. Back in '96, I recorded a gospel album, and when the promoters at the company were trying to promote my gospel album, instead of the DJs turning the album over and reading the liner notes, they would ask a dumb question like, is she a Christian? What that had to do with you playing my record?
That's right.
So I got very disenchanted with that. So I said, well, God, evidently that's not where you want me to be. So, but I still sing gospel often every Sunday. Yes. And it's part of my life. My prayers are daily. In fact, I thank God for parking spots nowadays. And I'm it's not a joke of any kind. I literally thank God for parking spots because, I can't walk all them long distances anymore.
That's right. Now, in the spirit of your performances, and you take special requests, do you have a gospel song that you could sing for us today?
I don't mix them.
You don't mix gospel?
I don't put gospel and blues together. You either had to want all gospel or you would have wanted all blues.
Okay.
I don't mix them.
Can you share why?
The only, well, that's the way I was brought up in the church. That's the way I was brought up. You don't mix the two of them. The only gospel song that I've ever sung that I've done when I came here to the station one time, this was a long time ago. The train is in competition with me, but that's all right. I did "Oh Holy Night," and I did that one a cappella, but, I don't mix gospel with rhythm and blues.
Okay. Understood. Do you have an inspirational song that you could sing? Do you have anything else that you'd like to sing for us?
Okay. Hang on a second.
Okay, I'm hanging.
Think of something else to chat about while I pull it up.
Okay, so we talked about... Oh, this train.
Well, train's in competition.
Yes, she is. If you're just joining us, we have the soul queen of New Orleans, Miss Irma Thomas, in the studio with us. She is singing, she is chatting, she is dropping so many jewels for young musicians in age, but also young at heart. This is one of the best conversations I've had. You learn so much, and it's just so at ease.
Well, when you know your job and you're going to interview somebody, it's always good to do your homework.
That's right.
Because I've had some occasions where people have asked me to do an interview with them. And the first thing I tell them, do your homework.
That's right.
Don't ask me the same question somebody done asked me 11 dozen times.
That's right.
If you do your homework and you're going to ask that question, you better find another way to phrase it.
All right.
Because I will point blank tell you, did you do your homework? Seriously. And I've done that on several occasions to people who did not do their homework. Because now you have the technology, you can go online and learn a whole lot about a person.
You really can.
And if you're not sure about something, that's where you formulate your questions and say, look, I'd like clarification on such and such a point.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes a good interview.
Yes.
But when you go back and ask the same questions over and over again, the only people I let get away with that are youngsters who are learning, children who are in school, and that may be a project of theirs to do an interview with an entertainer. Then I forgive them because they may not have access to that technology. But those who have access to it, they better do their homework.
All right.
Because Irma will tell them.
You better use it.
Now this may be taken as a gospel song, but it really isn't. It's just a uplifting song that I chose to dedicate to all of my fans. And since we've had some rough years in the past few years, it's been kind of rough for everybody. But I try to give them uplifting things, and this is something that I want to send out to all the WWOZ listeners near and far. And it's a Bob Dylan song. Dylan, I guess that's how he pronounced his name, Dylan, but it's one of his songs. And I think when he wrote it, he was probably in one of those moods where he was trying to uplift everybody around him as well, because I'm sure he had some rough times, just like a lot of us have had some rough times. So as far as I'm concerned, this song says a lot, and it's very encouraging to those who need encouragement. So this is going out to all the WWOZ listeners. My birthday's coming up in February, so you can think about what you want to donate to WWOZ in honor of Irma's birthday, which is in February. Any other time, you can do it now today if you want to, behind what's going on. You can always pick up the phone and say, okay, because she was there today, this is what I want to do. I want to donate, or I want to join the WWOC Groove Gang. That'll be fine. You know, I'm all for all of that, because this station has been the one station that has kept local entertainers, and I don't mean just New Orleans, but the state of Louisiana, all the entertainers in this state who has recorded something. This station is the only station that keeps us in their playlist.
Yes.
You know, and that's saying a lot, because some of us have some stuff that I don't want to play, but they still keep us in their playlist.
Yes.
And that's a big thing to me. It's very important to me, because people my age who's been in the business a long time, we're not recording as much as we used to, you know, and so to keep us in the loop, to let people know we're still around and we're still viable. And that's what WWOZ does. And so I appreciate it. And this is my thank you to WWOZ. You guys have just been wonderful.
Thank you.
May the good Lord bless and keep you. May your wishes all come true. May you always do for others and let others do for you. May you build a ladder to the stars and climb on every rung. May you stay forever young. May you grow up to be righteous. May you grow up to be true. May you always know the truth and see the light surrounding you. May you always be courageous, stand upright and be strong. May you stay forever young, forever young, forever young. May you stay forever young. May your hands always be busy. May your feet always be swift. May you have a strong foundation when the winds of change shift. May you always be patient when the winds up in the blind. May you always be joyful. May your song always be sung. May you stay forever young, forever young, forever young. May you stay forever young. Let's repeat another verse. May your hands always be busy. May your feet always be swift. May you have a strong foundation when the winds of changes shift. May you always be joyful. May your song always be sung. May you stay forever young, forever young, forever young. May you stay forever young. Merry Christmas and a blessed New Year.
Thank you so much, Miss Irma,
You're
for
welcome.
bringing your uplifting energy in this studio today.
You're welcome.
We feel so much better for having you.